of the perks of my job is that it takes me to different parts of the world. A few years back, I was sent to a remote mountainous area in the northeastern United States, the Adirondacks. If you've ever seen it in the fall, you'll understand. The trees turn shades of red, orange, and gold. It almost looks unreal, like something out of a storybook. Normally, my company books a hotel for me, but this time, I wanted some peace and isolation. I ended up renting a secluded Airbnb tucked deep in the woods. It was a stunning place surrounded by tall trees, with a wide back deck overlooking the mountains. There were even hiking trails starting just a few steps from the house. It felt perfect. My work meetings were scheduled for late afternoon, so I had most of the day to myself. I arrived Friday night, had a couple of drinks while sitting on the deck, and went to bed earlier than usual. The next morning, I woke up around 6 a.m. and decided to go for a jog, and that's when it started. You know that uneasy feeling, like someone's watching you, even though you can't see anyone. I had that feeling the entire time I was running. It didn't go away for even a second. I tried to brush it off as nerves or being alone in a new place. When I got back, I stayed inside for a while, but I kept hearing small, strange sounds, creaks, light thuds, things shifting. I told myself it was just an old wooden house settling in the forest. Still, something about it didn't feel right. Around 3:30 p.m., I left to meet my coworkers. After work, we went out for drinks. I didn't say it out loud, but I really didn't want to go back to that house. I dragged out the night as much as I could. I even suggested we continue the night at my place, but everyone was tired and called it early. So eventually, around 10:45 p.m., I drove back. The moment I got inside, I locked every door. Then I checked them again and again. I was exhausted, but sleep wouldn't come easy. I kept turning in bed, dozing off for a few minutes, then suddenly waking up because I thought I heard something outside. At one point, I tried playing music just to calm my nerves, but that only made it harder to sleep. Sometime after midnight, I gave up. I decided to step outside for a cigarette. I grabbed my jacket, phone, and pack, then headed downstairs. The staircase led directly into the living room. As soon as I stepped into the darkness, something felt off. I froze. For a split second, it looked like there was a shape in the kitchen, something blocking the faint moonlight coming through the window. My stomach dropped instantly, that deep, sinking feeling you can't ignore. I told myself it was nothing, just shadows playing tricks on me. Trying to shake it off, I reached for the light switch, and the moment the room lit up, I saw him. A man was standing in the kitchen, clear as day. He was tall, around 6 feet, with messy, unkempt hair and a thick beard. It felt like time completely stopped. Then suddenly, without warning, he charged at me. There was a kitchen counter between us, and he had to go around it. That tiny delay gave me just enough time. I turned and sprinted back upstairs, straight into my room, and slammed the door shut behind me. Yeah, I know, classic horror movie mistake, but in that moment, the front door felt impossibly far away. My room felt like the only option. I locked the door, rushed into the closet, and called 911. The dispatcher stayed on the line with me as I tried to keep my breathing under control. Then the banging started. He began slamming against the door hard, aggressive hits that shook the entire frame. Each impact made me flinch, and between the blows, he was talking, saying things that made no sense. I love you. I've changed. Please, just let me in. His voice sounded desperate, almost emotionally. I shouted back that I didn't know who he was, that he had the wrong person, but it didn't matter. It was like he couldn't even hear me. He just kept repeating himself over and over about how he loved me, how he needed me back. The door started to crack. I could actually see the wood splintering. Then, suddenly, his fist punched through part of the door. That's when I heard it. Sirens, loud and getting closer. Outside, multiple police cars pulled up, and just as his hand broke further through the door, there was a heavy crash, officers tackling him to the ground. I didn't wait. I climbed out of my bedroom window onto a small section of the roof. From there, one of the officers helped me safely down. They arrested him on the spot. Even then, he kept shouting, completely incoherent. A little later, the owner of the house showed up. That's when everything finally started to make sense. The man was her ex-fiancé. Apparently, after a bad breakup, he disappeared and completely cut himself off from everyone. But the worst part, he had been inside the house for days, living in one of the closets. The police found empty beer cans and food wrappers hidden in there. And it gets worse. They told me he had taken a knife from the kitchen and had it tucked into his belt. There's a good chance I walked in right as he was about to grab it. The owner was shaken. She kept apologizing over and over. Last I heard, the guy was facing serious charges. But what really stays with me is this. I checked every lock that night, 3 times, and it didn't matter. Because he was already inside. Sometimes I still think about it, how close that was. And weirdly enough, stepping outside for that cigarette might be the only reason I'm still alive today.